Hey guys, welcome back. Now today what I want to talk about is building muscle. What I've done is I've pulled together 7 easy tips which you can implement immediately within your training to help put on lean muscle. Now some of these are actually quite basic, but it's really about ensuring that you have the right fundamentals in place to give yourself the best opportunity to putting on muscle. All right, so jumping right into it. So my first tip would be understand your current diet. The best way to do this is to track your macros. Now I know for a lot of people, they don't want to have a macronutrient diet, which they're doing day to day. However, I would recommend spend a bit of time up front to understand how your diet is at the moment. What that will do is it gives you a bit of a baseline, because if you know what you're eating and then you can see what your output is, say you're not putting on muscle, you know how much you need to tweak that. So even if you're not going to track your macronutrients over time, at least do it up front to know where you stand at the moment. A really easy way to do this is download something like MyFitnessPal onto the App Store, and what that'll do, you can then put in what you're eating at the moment and it'll actually give you information around how many calories you're eating, what kind of foods you're eating in terms of proteins, fats and carbs, and then it gives you a much better understanding of where you sit at the moment, and that's really important to set you up down the track when you start to make those tweaks to your nutrition. Now on to tip number 2, and that is reassess your protein intake. Now, if you've done number 1 correctly, you should know roughly how much protein you're having within your current diet. The reason why protein is so important is because it helps your body recover basically. When you're at the gym, you're breaking down muscle fibers as you're working, and what protein does is it basically helps those muscle fibers rebuild and regenerate, which is what's gonna help you grow muscle. Now, as a rule of thumb, have a look at how many grams of protein you're having per day. You wanna have around about 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. That number will fluctuate, so it could be 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, but just have a look at how much you're having at the moment and make an assessment for yourself. You might need to increase it or decrease it depending on how it's working for you. All right, on to tip number 3, and this one seems a little bit basic, but just ensuring that you're getting adequate sleep. Now, sleep is so important for a whole range of different factors, but just have a look at how you're sleeping each night. Are you getting into a deep sleep? Are you sleeping enough hours? Are you drowsy during the day? You can tell when you're getting a good sleep, you can tell when you're not. So just things like avoiding caffeine late at night, making sure that your bed's in a comfortable temperature, perhaps just doing little things that you need to help wind yourself down before getting to bed, but trying to get that 8 hours of sleep in every single day, as much as you can to help your body regenerate. So it's really important in the long run. On to tip number 4, and that is eat often. Now, when you're trying to put on muscle, remember you need to be in a nutrient surplus in order to put on muscle. You need to be constantly feeding yourself to help your muscles grow. So you should be eating every 3 hours throughout the day, which means you'll be clocking up 4 to 6 meals throughout the day. What this means is you'll be getting a constant energy into your body, which will help your muscles repair and will help keep you energized, which is really important for putting on muscle. So just ensuring that you're eating often. When you start this out, it might be a little bit challenging, but just try to get into the habit of just having a snack ready to go. It can be a supplement shake or something easy, but eat often throughout the day. Tip number 5, I'd recommend it. It kind of goes on from the previous protein one I spoke about, but supplementation will really help. Now, the most important times of the day in terms of supplementation or meals in general or nutrition, first thing when you wake up, making sure you're having a big breakfast. The next one is straight after a workout when your body's broken down. The most obvious one I'd recommend is protein supplements. So having a protein shake, making sure that it's whey protein. If you can get New Zealand grass-fed, that's great. I personally use True Protein and they are an amazing product, but having that shake ready to go with 30 grams of protein that you can just bang down after a workout is the best time to have in order to help your body start that recovery process nice and early. The other supplement I would recommend is magnesium. Magnesium really helps your body recover, helps your joints. I actually have it in a form of a shake, which I have just before I go to bed. And what it does, it helps me relax, helps my body relax, helps rejuvenate. So magnesium and protein are the 2 that I use daily. There are a whole lot on the market, pre-workouts as well, which can help you basically get what you need in your body at the right times. On to tip number 6, and that is focus on your big muscle groups through compound movements. Now, compound movements are movements of using multiple joints or muscles throughout each movement, as opposed to isolated exercises. Now, when you're putting on muscle mass, these big compound movements are generally the ones where you're lifting a lot more weights, things like your squats, your deadlifts, your military press, your chest press. They're using multiple muscle groups to help push or move through that exercise. You can still do your isolated movements, but really focusing on those big, heavy exercises will help you gain more muscle mass throughout the body. Those isolated ones are gonna help you to strengthen other parts within your muscles. So focus on compound movements. All right, now on to the final tip of the day, and that is working your muscles to failure. Now this is really important because when you're working out, you want to be trying to break your muscles down as much as possible and forcing your body to adapt to the changes, in this case, putting on muscle. So if you're doing, say, an 8 to 12 rep range, try to choose a weight which is challenging you to get to that point. You don't want to be hitting 12 reps and putting it down just because you completed 12 reps. Get a feel for it. You might need a spot on those last few, but just making sure that you're really working your muscles as hard as you can. If you're doing something like an F45, choose a weight which is going to challenge you within that time frame. If it's 35-40 seconds, maybe you might even need to drop it down to a slightly lighter weight for that second, third, fourth round, but making sure that you're choosing something which is challenging and breaking down your muscles and working to failure. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or you have some experience maybe in putting on muscle or some tips, leave a comment down below or hit me up personally. Otherwise, hit subscribe and I'll catch you guys soon.